ice cream.
You scream.
We all scream for ice cream. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night. My name is Savannah Playford, the Director of Youth Ministry at Dixon United Methodist Church.
And my name is Alexandria Williams, and I am a youth crew member.
Whenever you are watching this, welcome to today's daily devotion. For today's daily devotion, we wanted to talk to you about the theology of ice cream.
Well, not exactly.
Not exactly, but we wanted to check in with you and share some verses we found about how what we put into our body can influence our body. So, Matthew 15:10-20 says this: Jesus called the crowd near and said to them, "Listen and understand. It's not what goes into the mouth that contaminates a person in God's sight. It's what comes out of the mouth that contaminates that person." Then the disciples came and said to him, "Do you know that the Pharisees were offended by what you just said?" Jesus replied, "Every plant that my heavenly Father did plant will be pulled up. Leave the Pharisees alone. They are blind people who are guides to blind people. But if a blind person leads another blind person, they will both fall into a ditch." Then Peter spoke up. "Explain this riddle to us." Jesus said, "Don't you understand yet? Don't you know that everything that goes into the mouth enters the stomach and then goes into the sewer? But what goes out of the mouth comes out of the heart, and that's what contaminates a person in God's sight. Out of the heart comes evil thoughts, murders, adultery, sexual sins, thefts, false testimonies, and insults. These contaminate a person in God's sight, but eating without washing hands does not contaminate in God's sight." In these verses, it's talking about how the Pharisees and other people in the Bible used to believe that things you put into your body, like certain meats and foods, and what you did with your body would contaminate you in all aspects of your life, including your religious life. Although ice cream may be sinful due to its great nature, of course, and us being too indulgent in that ice cream, what we put into our body doesn't necessarily affect us. But instead, what comes out of our body is what affects us, because that's what comes from the heart. So what we say to others really has an impact.
Just like what we say today, if somebody says something to us and we decide to tell another, and we tell them a different story, it's always not going to be the same story, and it can really offend the other person. So we must be kind and watch what we say to others.
Exactly. It is our duty as Christians to watch what we say and do to one another. And instead of spreading those hateful comments, we then want to spread the love and kindness and maybe even a little bit of ice cream to one another. So as you go about your day and as you go about your week, enjoy a cup of ice cream and think about all of the ways that you can love one another.